Okay, so this is my video response for the two gender videos that we're supposed to watch. The Hans Rosling, The Magic Washing Machine, and the Cheryl Wooden, Our Century's Greatest Injustice. So, I'll start with the Hans Rosling one about the washing machine. I like washing machines. They're cool. I never really thought about not having one and how much of a pain that would be and how much time that would take. So I'm really grateful for that. I liked how he talked about how some people, he talked about like the different kinds of people, the air people who live like above $80 a day, the washing machine people who live above 40, the fire people but live below 2, and the electricity people live above 2. So it's kind of crazy that some people can afford to fly around in jets and planes and such when some people can't even afford electricity. And I liked how he pointed out that he talked about the green people and how they're like, no, not everyone can have a washing machine. That'd be bad for the earth. But he's like, do any of you not use washing machines? And no one said that they didn't. So then he talked about how as people move up in the world through economic and like population growth, we need to be using more green energy and using less energy so that more people can move up and have those things without destroying the environment. I liked when he talked about how by his mom getting the washing machine, they were able to like go to the library and read books, and his mom was able to learn English just because she didn't have to spend all that time washing clothes. And imagine what the rest of the women in the world could do if they didn't have to spend hours a week just washing clothes or walking just to get water to wash the clothes and then heat it up over a fire and blah da 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 da. That takes a lot of time. So, if everyone could have a washing machine, that would be cool. That would give women a lot more time to improve themselves in the world. And then the next video, which I really liked her, she was a cool lady, Cheryl Wooden, I don't really know how to say her name. But she talked about a girl in China who her parents pulled her out of school because they were like, the $13 fee is just too much. We can't afford it. And then, but she would go to school anyway and try to listen and gain information. So that's awesome that she was that dedicated. And then the New York Times wrote a story about her, and people wrote a bunch of $13 checks, which I thought was kind of funny. But and then someone donated like $10,000, which is a lot of money, but in our society, $10,000 is not actually that much. Like you can buy a lot of little stuff, but as far as education goes, we use way more than that. But they sent this $10,000 to that village, so the principal was able to give girls scholarships and do improvements on the school. And eventually this girl made it all the way through school, went and got an accounting degree, went and got a job, sent money back to her family. They built a new house with running water, electricity, a bike or something, and it improved their whole village. Just that $10,000. She worded it as she moved from a vicious to a virtuous cycle, which I thought was really cool. She said the central moral challenge of our century, I guess, is gender inequality. And I thought it was interesting when she talked about how most people think that there is a lot more women in the world than there are men. But that's not true, because it is true in like the West and more developed countries because women live longer and stuff like that. But across the world, it's not true because women die. She named a huge number of missing females, and then who knows how many girls are aborted before they're even born just because they're girls. And then families choose not to feed their daughters, but they feed their sons, and so like from 1 to 5, I don't remember if this was in a specific country, but like 50% more girls died than boys as children, which is so sad. The fact that they treat their sons that much differently than their daughters is awful. And then she talked about how women are not the problem, they're the solution. If you educate women, there'll be less poverty because they won't have as many children, because population is a huge overpopulation is a huge problem. And so when girls are more educated, they tend to have a lot less children, which could help that problem. Another thing that was really crazy that she talked about was sex trafficking of young girls. And there's more sex trafficking than there was in the slave trade. So sex trafficking is basically modern slavery, and that's awful. And apparently a slave is worth more than one of those girls. You can buy one of them for like a couple $100s, which is nuts. And then another thing she mentioned was maternal mortality, which was really sad. That story she told about that girl who crawled from her village to find somewhere and needed like a $350 surgery to save her life, and then she became a nurse. Again, she moved from the vicious to a virtuous cycle. And that was really awesome. There's just a lot of really cool women that she talked about. And then the last one I'm going to talk about, or that she talked about or whatever, was a woman who got a $65 loan, started an embroidery business, and ended up employing 30 other women in her village. That's awesome. It shows $65 here. A lot of people blow through that in an hour. Like, she started a business with it and employed 30 women and her nasty husband. But so that's crazy. It's crazy what these women can do with just a little bit of help. So hopefully we can all make it our goal to help these people and help other people all throughout the world, since they're our brothers and sisters. So that's it. Bye.